Let's go check out on our guy. Let's see here. Where's my save? We're on episode 3 now. And we are checking into the night. And there was one bed. So, how should we... Oh, I was just kidding before. You can have the bed. I'll just sleep on the floor. What? Why can't I just let you? Please, we're both commoners, but you live in a cushy life in the city. I'm a mercenary. I lived on the road for years. I've slept like this plenty of times. I couldn't argue against that, but I still felt uneasy. Alright, just let me know if you change your mind. Yeah. Myself fall into the bed. Celeste started checking the room for anything suspicious. Tried to relax, but Lucio Steelwind was in my hometown. I just took deep breaths. Celeste was right. Grand General wasn't insane enough to try anything in the heart of Lloyd von Sanctus's territory. I really hope that was true. We had an arrangement. What are you doing? No, guess I'm going back to do my actual job. You little rat. You think you can get away with crossing me? If you come this far, you are far from blameless. Now get back in that office and activate that vice. Oh, I thought you wanted me to rob the place. What's so special about that thing? And why the office? But I activate it right now. Do not do that! I knew it. There's been something more to these jobs, ain't it? This ain't just robbery. You're using me for something else. As if you ever cared. You know about your debts. You need me. You know what? I'm done with this. I quit. What do you think this is? Cat? Got cotton in your ears or something? I said I quit. So this my resignation. Wait, stop! Ah! Whoa. Ah! I'm it all. Violetta, get out of there now. That went on, I found myself falling into a terrible nightmare. How long had I been walking through the forest? It'd probably been days at this point. I was getting tired. I had to get to Rathel. I had to find Miss Demora again. I needed to find her. I needed her to teach me. I needed revenge. I needed some food. I'd already gone through all the dried fish that I'd packed for the journey. Compass told me that I was still heading west. I didn't realize how long it would take to get to Rathel on foot. Suddenly I heard the sound of distant carriage coming from behind me. It was long before the cart passed by me. The carriage driver glanced at me before doing a double take and yanking at the reins. Hey, what are you doing all the way out here? I said nothing, just stared blankly at him. You okay? Where are your parents? They're gone. Age 10. The man scratched his head and scanned the surrounding forest. I need to go to Ratholm. I need to find Ruby Tamora. Wait, that criminal lawyer? It's my family's lawyer. Oh, we passed by Ratholm. You should probably come with me. I'll get you to the city watch. You probably know how to help a kid like you. I wasn't interested in meeting more knights, but at this rate I was going to starve. Without a word, I climbed into the back of his carriage. Kid looks like he's half dead. Damn, so he's really been through it. Startled awake. Face was covered in sweat. It took me a while before I realized that it had just been a nightmare. I rubbed my eyes. Bright tears crusted into them. Damn it all. Long time since I'd stopped having those nightmares. And this city was digging up memories that I'd moved on from. No reason to leave as soon as possible. Celeste, you up? Huh? Wistfully staring outside the tavern window, but her body twitched the moment I called out to her. Oh, that's a new expression. Cute. Are you okay? Yeah. Oh? You just startled me. Oh, there was going to be something else, but she didn't seem keen on sharing. What were you up to? You know if the city's still on lockdown? I haven't checked yet. I was waiting for you. We arrived at the city gates. It was still being blocked by the King's Guard. If anything, it looked like they doubled the number of knights there. Like where this is going. Want to head to the cafe again? Yeah. Just have to wait this out. Just as we turned around, we saw Rika running toward us from a block away. Tyrion! got into a sprint, nearly tripping over as she slipped in the wet city streets. Oh! Exhausted and her clothes were drenched, been out in the rain for a while. Let's see. What do we know? So there's a solid chance we don't know any of the people involved in that little nighttime scene. So we can't even distinguish whether that nighttime scene, that dream scene, was a memory or something happening off screen. Tyrion, it's terrible. There was an accident at the Arcane refinery last night. My friends who worked there, he fell into a vat of chemical. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's dead. Mika, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do? Duke is blaming the Dracogen trading company. He's trying to charge the owner with criminal negligence. The lord of this region, it was House von Sanctus' responsibility to carry out the law. He was obviously just taking this opportunity to attack one of his rivals. Tyrion, you're a famous lawyer, right? You help them? I don't think I can. What? But Mika, I specialize in homicides, and most of my clients are mages who've been charged with murder. There isn't any magic involved in what happened. There isn't even a killer. That's not true. I saw it happen. I didn't see who did it, but I saw someone cast a spell at him. Pushed him into the vat. What? How sure are you of this? I don't know. It all happened really fast. Brett, she didn't seem that sure of what she saw. To investigate, do you know what kind of spell it was? No. It was powerful enough to break everything around it. Or it could have been the device they were talking about. Would it leave magical traces? Definitely sounded too distinct. She must have seen something. Okay, head to the refinery and see what I can do. Really? Don't get your hopes up. We don't have a lot of information to work with. That's fine. I'll let Dracogen know that you're on your way. This week was just getting worse by the minute. Ooh. We made our way to Oranax's Arcane refinery. I'd always avoided the industrial district when I was a child. The Eye of Horus always showed me a miasma of exhaustion and hopelessness draping over this part of town. Definitely felt less of that this time around. I've gotten more used to dealing with my pals. That Aranax's working conditions really have taken a turn for the better. Wow. So this is an Arcane refinery. Never really understood what they do here. Machines refine the arcane crystals that they use in artificery devices. Crystals like that can power everything from simple lights to advanced stuff like your runestone. How do you know this? Basically had to with all the extra reading I've been doing to learn how to fix your runestone. Sorry, I can't sense magic like you can. Mr. Cup? Oh, you're here. As we arrived, we spotted Steelwind directing the knights as they investigated the crime scene. Surprised to see you all here. I thought what happened this morning was being considered an accident. I should say the same to you. Was Mika right? Did a mage really murder her friend? My friend is an associate of the Dracogen trading company. She asked me to take a look at what happened. Right. I'd forgotten that Lloyd was charging Dracogen with criminal negligence. Isn't that why you're all here? We're here because of another matter. Honestly, just in the way. Oh god. Honestly, the death of Justin Way seems fairly straightforward. I'll be prosecuting the case, of course. I don't think there's anything to dispute there. You're so confident, I guess you wouldn't mind answering my questions. Why do I feel like you're about to make my job more difficult? Weren't you the one who said that the courts operate by having two balanced powers of opposition? So you are going to defend him. I want to say that I wasn't sure yet, but that would probably be a lie. Very well. There's something I'm not seeing. I'd appreciate your perspective. I'll tell you what I know. I'm well aware that you're an attorney, Mr. Cuthbert. Sorry, I don't know why I always show this thing to people. It is very useful. The artificery embedded into it is actually quite fascinating. Wouldn't fault you for being excited about it. Could fault him a little. You know why the Kingsguard are blockading the city? Something dangerous was stolen from an Imperial ship this morning. We need to make sure it doesn't leave the city. That's all I can tell you for now. Interesting, though.
Reparial Arcanum!
vat filled with chemicals that I can't quite identify. According to Celeste, these chemicals are used to refine and create arcane crystals. It's a walkway that overlooks the refinery. A little concerning how close it is to the vats. I suppose the guardrails should keep the employees safe when they're up there. These metal stairs lead up to the walkway above. Let's just see here. What happened? Could you tell me more about what happened? This morning, a factory worker named Justin Way was walking along the catwalk above us. When he put his weight on the guardrail, it broke apart. He unfortunately fell straight into a vat of corrosive chemicals. Oh, this is turning into the factory episode of the murders on the Yangtze River. It wasn't exactly a peaceful way to go out. One witness, Mosarika Tudor, saw this happen and reported what she saw immediately. Workers quickly followed safety protocol and poured a concoction into the vat to neutralize its corrosive properties. It was far too late. By the time they pulled him out, the only thing left of Justin's body was his bones and one of his personal effects. I have the autopsy report if you'd like to take a closer look. Dissolution. Molten aetherite. Yeah, Lord. Chemicals were strong enough to dissolve his body. How did this personal effect survive? I'm not sure. The item was a well-crafted ring, so it's possible that it was made out of a material resistant to dissolution. The Workers' Union had previously reported damaged guard to the refinery owner. We're charging Stepanek Dracogen with criminal negligence for failing to repair it in a timely manner. But Nosarika said she saw a spell push Justin into the vat. So she told law enforcement too, but the evidence doesn't support that. There were no traces of magic anywhere near the guardrail, save for the magical chemicals in the vat. Didn't find any traces of evocation magic to suggest an explosive spell pushed him. There weren't any traces of transmutation magic to suggest that anyone weakened the guardrail. Well, it's possible Rika was in too much shock to remember what had happened accurately. It was still strange. I need to talk to her again and get a more detailed description of what she saw this morning. About Dracogen. What do you know about Dracogen? I know that I've had to listen to the Duke of Commerce incessantly complain about them. I'm guessing he doesn't get along with them. Stepanek Dracogen's trading company is supposedly posing a threat to his holdings. Lloyd also doesn't seem to approve of how he's been handling the workers' unions. I'm sure he'd take issue with the simple fact that he allows them to exist. It appears so. We've also received a lot of reports of rising tensions between Mr. Dracogen and the unions. Apparently many known dissidents have joined them as a way to indirectly fight back against the aristocracy. This refinery's union head, Noah Morrison, has denied this. The reports tell a more honest story. Wait, Mr. Morrison is the leader of the workers' unions? Ornak. Wait, do you know the name? Harbor Master. Oh, close family friend. Do you two know each other? Something like that. Mr. Morrison was the harbor master of the Ardax harbor when I used to live here. Kind and generous man who used to watch me while my mother was working. I was uneasy about talking to him after all these years, but I did warn him if he was getting himself involved with dissidents. Though it had been more than 10 years since I'd last seen him, he could very well be one of them. And where Dracogen is, I have to talk to him about this directly. The old timer's being questioned by the King's Guard. We're asking him about the robbery that occurred before the accident. I'm sure he'll be back later today. Wait, the refinery was also robbed this morning? Yeah, the other thing. You mentioned you were here investigating another matter. Something else happened here this morning. Over the last few months, there have been a string of suspicious robberies within Aranax. They are a criminal who calls themselves the Mistweaving Phantom. The style of naming sounded oddly familiar. The city's a hub of global trade, and several ships belonging to the trading companies have been robbed. Oh, bro. Just in way. That's a top-tier Phoenix right there. These thefts were expertly executed. No one witnessed them. They left no evidence behind. A few times when the Phantom did trigger an alarm, it was as if they disappeared into thin air. Guess this Phantom lives up to their name. No, not the Phantom! What's most alarming is that an extremely dangerous shipment was stolen from an Imperial ship this morning. What did they steal? Sorry, but that is a matter of national security. I already told you more than I should. It's not relevant to this case. Just leave that matter to my father and me. The Kingsguard have completely blockaded the city to keep anyone from getting away. So that's why they're blockading the city. Wait, did you say that your father is here? It's another matter entirely. He's Lucio Steelwind here. What is he planning? Tyrion! You have every right to be concerned, but it's out of our hands. I told you the stolen shipment is a threat to national security. Your father has taken it upon himself to search for it, personally. No idea to calm down. Lucio Steelwind may have been a bloodthirsty monster in the countryside, but Armax was a central trading hub in Wyvern Guard. He started a bloodbath here. Could very well cause the kingdom's economy to grind to a halt. And he wasn't insane enough to do something like that, right? My father has the best mages in the kingdom searching for it. It's clear, however, that someone is using powerful abjuration magic to mask its location. We'll just need to wait for this Phantom to be apprehended. In a way, it seems like I'd learned everything I could for now. Where else can we go? Town Square is probably the hub. Or the harbor. It's been a long time since I've been to the Aranax harbor. Ocean breeze and the smell of seawater were unmistakable. The city had clearly changed a lot over the years, but at least one thing had stayed the same. I remembered when I'd sit by the docks, bored out of my mind, my mother read people's fortunes on the boardwalk. Oh. I hated it. Never had anything to do, anyone to play with. I would give anything to get those days back. Are you okay? Yeah. You should get going. Are you sure? You can stay here a bit longer if you want. It sounded tempting, but I knew it wouldn't be long before I started remembering everything else that had happened. But it's good to take a rest and it's less I'm fine. The tone of my voice turned a lot sharper than I'd meant for it to. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'd heard from Rika, but I still can't believe it. It really is you, isn't it? Holy shit. Mr. Morrison? Slay! Harbor Master Arnax. He was friends with my mother before she was killed. He had always watched over me when my mother was busy with her job as a merchant. He taught me how to fish. Oh. Good to see you, boy. Look how much you've grown. Oh. Hi! He drew in a sharp breath. Guilt of how I'd left the city was clawing him. Bro does not seem like he cares. He's real for that. I'm sorry I never kept in touch. Just glad you're safe. Well, that's for sure you died in the woods. Flexing? I was surprised when we saw you in the newspaper taking on some nobles. Countryside. Actually, since I was, have you here, I'm investigating the death of Justin Ray. Oh, you heard about that. Terrible thing that happened to him. Can I ask you some questions about the Dracogen Trading Company? Of course. Well, but first, the obligatory. What's this? Some kind of amulet? It's an attorney's runestone. Proves that I'm a certified attorney. If you're some big shot attorney now. Big shot. I mean, look at you. I never imagined I'd ever see you wearing a suit. They would be very proud of you, but I hope so. I see you're doing okay, Mr. Morrison. Things have really turned around since you were last here. It's difficult to take in sometimes. So much has changed. No, it's a little tough to trust sometimes. Change can be good. All really new, but I feel like the city's in good hands. It's good to hear. You're all okay, aren't you? Things weren't exactly. He's really trying to choose his next words carefully. I'm okay. Apparently everyone's seen as much in the papers lately. Right. As if you're a defense attorney who saves mages. Ah, I know all that happened a long time ago. It's okay if you're still not okay, okay? It sounded like he was clumsily stumbling around his words. We're probably all settled down in the capital, but here there's some support groups then. I'm okay. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Right, of course. Mm-hmm. It's a modest ship, only used by local businesses to transport goods by sea. I can't help but feel nostalgic seeing these ships. I used to travel by sea all the time when I was traveling the world. It was probably my favorite part. That does sound pretty nice. Let's try running one day. Are you sure? You get motion sick pretty easily. Sailing on a ship might kill you. She had a point there. Can't deny that. It's a modest ship. Houses line the edge of the harbor. As a kid, I always dreamed of saving up enough gold to buy my own house in the harbor fund. You have a job as an attorney now. You can always move back here. No. If possible, I never want to return to this city again. Oh.
Preparing Arcanum.
Or Celeste probably feels like... Or Celeste is wondering what the heck she's just wondering. She's just full of concern. I'm sure leading one of the workers' unions in Oranax. Ah, so you heard about that. I didn't trust it at first, but Dracogen's idea really took off. Finally having to say anything's been great for the workers of this city. Wait, workers' unions were Stefanik Dracogen's idea? Yeah, I was just as confused as you are. I had no idea what he was trying to do. Just gonna look that gift horse in the mouth. Be bittersweet considering how hostile things have gotten between you two. What? What about the prosecutor? What about the tensions between the unions and Dracogen? This again. I'd seen something like that too. Has it never been better between Stefanik and us? Prosecutor said they received several reports of hostility between you two. Alright, who's union busting? Well, it's the first I'm hearing about this. Seemed sincerely confused. What was going on? Who sent these reports, anyways? Surely not be the union members. I'm not sure, but well, from what he said, these reports came from numerous sources. The prosecutor's a steel wind, ain't she? You're sure you can really trust what she says? She's not the type of person who would lie about something like this. If you say so. Were all his reports wrong, or was Mr. Morrison lying? The more I hear about that story, the less it makes sense. I talked to the man who inspected that guardrail. He said that it was only dented, never broken. Saying it. So must we be right then? Won't break that guardrail apart using magic? If we're true, why weren't there any magical traces there? We're an artificery. Factory. Refinery. Do objects that use artificery leave magical traces? Yes or no? I heard there's been a string of robberies happening throughout town. It said that Dracogen's office was hit for the accident at the refinery. Ah, the Phantom even hit the refinery. And a real headache, that one. Magician seems to suspect that one of the members of the Union is this mist-weaving Phantom. What? That's a load of bollocks. It made sense when I heard about the tensions between Dracogen and the Unions, but if that's not true... Can't have been someone from the Unions. Our offices have been hit the most. Wait, could a thief possibly steal from a Union office? Strangest thing. Man broke in, but all they took was some documents. Where the Duke and the other nobles who had some advanced security systems installed in each of our offices. Doesn't matter. Just slips right past them. What kind of documents did they take? The lists of our members, our budget, and minutes of our meetings with employees in the city they're trying to union bust. That definitely can't be for anything good. Sanctus is totally trying to union bust. Let's face the facts here. It implies that the Phantom is stealing more than just valuables. What are you trying to accomplish? What is going on? The more I learn about the misleading Phantom, the more their motives became unclear. Morrison, Steven told us that several ships were robbed in port. You know which ones? Ah, give me a sec. I'm making some notes on the shipping reports right here. Oh shit, alright. New Australis to Remus Virgile. 100 kilograms of books. Aethergard. Aethergard is the refinery? To Von Sanctus Industries, question mark. Rosacaster. Tons of arcane constructs. 30 tons of bronze. Premium textiles, 5 tons of silk, Von Sanctus Industries, exotic jewels. Sick. What do I do with this information? Wow, they even hit Von Sanctus. It's not the report, but they even hit my house. Who is this guy? You want to see what stolen items have in common. I think they chose targets to intentionally mislead anyone trying to figure that out. Honestly, that's very likely. Whoever they are, they might be after more than just the gold. Why are the items for the Aethergard shipment marked as unknown? Oh, that. The ship was owned by a pretty high-profile noble. Said his name was Aston. Met him? Yeah, pretty nice bloke then. They're like old Lloyd. A lot of his retainers were causing a fuss when they realized that their ship had been robbed. Sounded like the really valuable was stolen from it. I think that's the Imperial ship that Arya mentioned? Maybe. It seemed to be really secret about what was stolen. It seemed to be really secret about what was stolen. So it looks like the Duke was supposed to receive whatever was on that ship. Hence why he's so utterly pissed off. Maybe able to tell us more about what was stolen. Oh boy. Do you seriously think he'll talk to us? Kind of intentionally set him off the last time you saw him. Ah, you're right. I'd have more luck trying to find this Astor. They didn't seem to pay me any mind to what happened. They even paid me to show them around town. They were actually at the refinery when the accident happened. What? Why didn't you start with that, Mr. Morrison? Oh, never asked. Well, did you see the accident? No, my knee was acting up, so I was taking a sit down in the yard outside. I think he saw something. Gave a statement to those knights when they showed up. Steve would never mention that. Well, is she hiding another witness from us? girl really seemed really jumpy about it, too. Barely hold a conversation with him. Aster. Oh, wow. I've never seen her like that before. This Aster one doesn't sound like I need to have a talk with him. I wonder if it's the... Like, supposedly she's engaged to the Crown Prince. Is that the same guy? I think I actually learned a lot more than I thought I would. It's time to move somewhere else. Move! This is just our... yeah. Statue of some kind of daredevil? It's Ferdinand Dubois, a famous stunt performer and physicist. I heard he used to run shows here several decades ago. He also used to jump over large obstacles or crevices in some kind of wheeled vehicle. He even tried creating flying machines to the end of his career. Flying machines? Yeah, I heard he didn't even use magic to make them fly.
Reparial Arcanum.
Several businesses have opened up since last time I came here. They all seem to be pretty busy. The city is getting pretty crowded. Everything's packed. Alright. Rika? Lord of the Radiant Flame, you've returned. You get a chance to talk to Mr. Dracogen? I just missed him, apparently. Did talk to the prosecutor, though. I mean, Lady Steelwind. She's not that bad once you get to know her. Anyways, I learned a bit more about what happened. I think your testimony isn't really fitted with the reports. Could you tell me more about what you saw? Okay, I'll do whatever I can to help. Gem with strange carvings. Is it cursed? Attorney's runestone. It proves that I'm a certified attorney. Nothing to do with artificery. I use it to take pictures of evidence at crime scenes. Really? Do you know I can get one of those? You have to be an attorney to have one. Tyrion, people use runestones for things other than practicing law. Alright. Court case. I'm sorry I had to drag you into this. I didn't know who else to turn to. Don't worry about it. You've saved me more times than I can count. Wait, when did I save you? Did you forget? It's how we met. What happened? So I was getting harassed by some of the older kids. By the harbor. Wonder if they tried to steal the allowance my mother gave me. Except didn't stop them. I remember those cretins now. They had no choice but to flee from the weight of my majesty. They basically knew how to scream in the most alarming way. It sounded like something between a rabid fox and a screeching baby. Cute. Yes, my battle cry alone was enough to end battles before they started. It's worth. If it works, it works. Drew the attention of law enforcement. They thought a monster had broken into the city. I think that's when I became your apprentice. We'd always go on adventures together through the city. Yes, and look at how much you've grown. I'm glad I put you on the path to greatness. I really miss those days. Oh, me too. Well, this is over. Let's go on another adventure. She's come with us, Celeste? Yeah, I'm always up for an adventure. Oh. Alright, back to business now. Alright, let's get to work. Said that you saw someone cast a spell that pushed Justin into the vats. You tell me exactly what you saw. I need every detail you can remember. It's kind of hard to see. I was on ground level and he was up on the catwalk. I think I saw him yelling at someone from up there. That's when I saw a flash of light. It's a short burst of magical energy that ripped the guardrail apart. Just happened to be standing right next to the top of a nearby vat. I fell right into it. I told one of the workers what I saw. They went to try and pull him out. I guess it was too late. Those chemicals must have been really toxic. They weren't just toxic. They were strong enough to completely melt down his body. Actually, something else. I saw Justin drop something from his hands before he fell into the vat. They pulled him out. I tried looking for it and cast Detect Magic. So I found this on the ground below the walkway. A leather strap? strap more closely. And a buckle on it, nothing to connect it. Noodle's VI were engraved on it. I was really confused as to what the purpose of this was. I saw a blue glow when I looked at it. The cyan? That's the color of conjuration traces. I tried to give it to the investigators, but they didn't think it was important. Guess it made sense. They were considering this an accident, not murder. Why were you there? Why were you at the refinery anyways? Oop. Work there, do you? Delivering Justin's breakfast. Oh, that was weird. What? He always skips it. It really annoys me, so I started bringing some of my pastries over every morning. What? Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So important that you ate it multiple times yesterday. I have high metabolism, okay? Anyways, isn't it kind of dangerous to let a civilian walk around a factory like that? I am no ordinary civilian. No one there would dare to bar my visit to the refinery. It means you don't usually visit the refinery. Yeah, I usually just meet Justin in the freight area. He didn't show up that day, so I got worried and went looking around. People who worked there recognized me and let me in. That's when I saw him fall into the vat. Oh. Spell. Did you recognize the spell Justin was hit with? Possibly not. I'm amazed, but I've never seen a spell like that before. It happened instantly. It didn't look like an explosion or anything. It looked more like an expanding prism. Some? That match with any of the spells you're familiar with? I specialize in transmutation spells, but any of the spells I know that could create a cube wouldn't expand instantly like that. The problem is that the Inquisition didn't find any traces of magic on the walkway. It couldn't have been an evocation spell or a transmutation spell. I actually wanted to ask you about that. Why would an explosive evocation spell leave traces of magic? Magical traces are only left on the objects they are targeting. Like a fireball spell isn't technically targeting anything. That's correct, but every evocation spell produces some kind of residue. And if it hits, like, a human target, and the human target dissolves in a vat of acid, in case of fireball, its magical traces would be left on whatever it had burned or melted. Someone used an evocation spell powerful enough to rip the guardrail apart. They would have found traces of evocation there. Wow, I never knew how technical these things were. But lucky they are. Otherwise I'd have a lot less evidence to work with. If what you're saying is true, was I wrong about what I saw? I wouldn't say that. I've been doing this long enough to know that there's always an explanation for oddities like this. What Rico saw was accurate. What kind of spell was Justin hit with? It was strong enough to rip the guardrails apart, but it didn't leave any traces. Her way. I had learned everything I could from her. And move somewhere else. Where can we go? Refinery? We're right back at the refinery. The physician was still sweeping factory ground, but Steven seemed to have left. As he entered the factory, I spotted a large, unfamiliar figure. Oh! He was old in his years, but his build carried the strength of someone who hadn't spent his life sitting idly. He had a powerful yet steady temperament in his eyes. His posture carried the shrewdness of a clever businessman. Oh! Dracogen? The refinery employees who were still present were deferring to him. He must be the owner of the Dracogen Trading Company. Merchant owner? Investor who's helped many commoners start their businesses in Arnax. He seems to care deeply about workers' rights. He enforces that ideology in his business. As he approached, he noticed us and began waving us over. Oh. Hello there. You must be that famous attorney that Miss Tubik spoke of. I am. I hear that you're the guildmaster of the Dracogen Trading Company. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I really appreciate you lending your aid in this matter. I've told Rika this, but I've never tried a case like this before. I honestly don't know how much help I'll be. Now there isn't a single attorney in Ornax that will represent me. I'd appreciate having you as my attorney, especially with a trial in only a few hours. What? Strange, too. Duke must be pulling some strings. What's usually only rushed cases to trial when they involve magic? There was supposedly no magic involved in what happened. Did the prosecution know something that I didn't? This didn't matter. Just have to do what I could. Alright. Your trial is coming up, we need to move quickly. Can I ask you some questions about what happened, Dracogen? There's clearly something more going on with this case. Of course. We can mention that Justin was an employee of yours. Could you tell us more about him? What was he like when he was working here? Yes, I hired him just a few months ago. It's a shame what happened to him, and at such a young age, too. Was he a good employee? He was a hard worker, but he was a bit rough around the edges when he first started. He wasn't great at following the rules at first, but he was good with his hands. I wasn't sure what to make of him. At first, his tutor he begged me to hire him. That did sound like her. She always had a habit of getting involved in her friend's business. He was a good man. He needed some structure and direction in life. It's remarkable how much of a difference that can make to people who might just be miserable for the pure reason that they just have no structure, have no stability. Once they have something safe and consistent to pour themselves into, you see the change in them. It makes monumental levels of difference. After only a few weeks of working for me, he was following the rules more than anyone else here. Which only makes me more confused as to why he was up there. Alright, I'll bite. I really mentioned that Justin wasn't supposed to be on the walkway. What did you mean by that? Well, Justin worked in an entirely different department. And your voice is going. He was part of a team that managed packaging and freight. He had no business being inside the refinery. Less up on the catwalk. Was the type of person to wander around places he wasn't supposed to? We had a few issues like that starting a few months ago. Like I said before, he always followed my rules when he was working today. It just makes this whole situation that much more confusing. Contractors assured me that the damage to the guardrail was nothing to worry about. What Rika said, someone used a spell to break the guardrail apart. That's true. I doubt Justin's death was your fault. They'd heard that the mist-weaving phantom hit the refinery this morning. Which part of the refinery did they break into? What did they steal? It's the strangest thing. He broke into my office and cracked my magically locked safe. Fuck? The safe contained my business records and several gold coins I kept on hand. He stole the records but left the gold. Why'd they leave it for going through so much trouble to break in? What is the Phantom actually after? Your answer's as good as mine. It was the location that Justin fell from, close to your office. Yes. An office is positioned there to overlook the refinery. The robbery occurred close to the time of Justin's death. Did he spot the Phantom while he was up there? It's always the question of what he was doing up there, but... How's your relationship with local workers' unions? Well, I certainly hope they're good. We've had our disagreements, of course, but nothing we couldn't work out through discussion. Working in refineries without its risks, and people want to be properly compensated for that. Let's hope we can put this accident behind us and take more precautions in the future. It seemed to genuinely care, but it honestly sounded too good to be true. Merchants tend to be more emotionally guarded. Naturally came with the occupation. Didn't see any thoughts through the eye of Horus. What was he really thinking? I have to ask, why would you propose the formation of the workers' union in the first place? With all due respect, I think someone in your position would have every reason to stop that from happening. I don't blame you for thinking that. I'm sure many of the merchants of this kingdom would agree with you. Exactly what I proposed to Noah. I've seen how this kingdom treats those at the bottom of society. Those without are treated like tools. worked by their employers until they break and need to be replaced. Tell me, Mr. Cuthbert, the only appliances created by Von Sanctus Industries. I have a Von Sanctus brand oven. You mean that one that keeps breaking down? Exactly the problem. Its employees are so overworked they naturally can't do their jobs properly. Quality control is non-existent. It's all about doing the bare minimum required to turn a profit with it. I'm not one to brag. My products have been touted to be far more reliable than Von Sanctus's. Simple thing, really. When you keep your employees happy, they perform better, and that pays itself forward. Damn straight. Create the first workers' union with no one to allow workers to better advocate themselves. Unions function best in environments when these protections don't exist. But then, glad to see it's a set of precedent for the employees of other companies to do the same. As I can see his logic there, and Von Sanctus's products were pretty poorly made. Maybe there's reports of tensions between them all the more strange. Something strange going on with this case. Yeah, especially with this mist-weaving phantom. There's something else that also stood out to me. Personally talking to Mr. Morrison and Stefanik Dracogen, one thing is clear. Maybe. And no tensions between Dracogen and the unions. There are no tensions between Dracogen and the unions. They had very little reason to lie to me. Even if they had, their statements wouldn't have matched so closely. What those reports Steelwind talked about? They didn't just say things were bad between them, they said things were hostile to each other. Those reports might actually be related to the Phantom. What? How? I don't know for what reason, but the Phantom isn't just looking to steal items of monetary value. Maybe. Values documents within valuables. Documents related to unions. Not stealing his gold. What if? What if? I feel like more than is... I suppose they've taken some out, so as much as works. Serial Robber seems to value records and documents, specifically those relating to the workers' unions at the Dracogen Trading Company. Not concrete, but if you connect their actions to Steven's report, something becomes suspect. Documents stolen by the robber being used to file false reports, yeah. Whoever the misbehaving Phantom is, the documents they stole are being used to file these false reports. How do they do that, though? It can't be for anything good. It's just a common thug that makes some easy money. Working towards something. I think that's already affecting the political climate of Aranax. Do my hand clutching into a fist. Filing these false reports was putting everyone in the city in danger. As continued, Lucio Steelwind might not leave when they find that shipment. Continue his bloodthirsty crusade here. Find them when I do, I'm going to wring the truth out of them. What? There's only one person who can tell us more about what's happening in Aranax, Lloyd Von Sanctus himself. Okay, but you really think he's going to help you, though? I don't have a choice. Just have to see what we can get out of him. That didn't work, I just grabbed the information I needed out of his mind. Duke's Manor's in the upper district west of here. Careful if I were you. Duke for pillar family is not someone to be trifled with. That's never stopped me before. Ha! Clearly. Celeste is concerned. But it seems I learned everything I could from it. Somewhere else. Let's go. My apologies, but Lord Von Sanctus isn't accepting any visitors. This isn't a visit. I need to talk to him right now. The boy gestured toward a guard who was standing at the door. So let's get them out of the way. What? We are going to see Von Sanctus. Step aside, we're going to go through you. Wait, Tyrion, this does not sound legal. Let him in. What? Oh, hello. I'm sure Mr. Cuthbert has no untoward intentions. It could be in everyone's best interests for him to speak with Lloyd. You're... Sir, you can't be serious. Is there a problem? No. Of course not. Please, come in, Mr. Cuthbert. Thank you. Of course, I'm just happy to help. Know that I'm wishing you luck in the upcoming trial, Mr. Cuthbert? Right. With the word, the mysterious man started to walk away from the manor. Oh, sorry, I didn't catch your name. You can call me Aster. Ah. Wait, wasn't Aster that high-profile noble that Mr. Morrison mentioned? He also owned the ship from which that threat to national security had been stolen. The nobleman that Aster was walking farther and farther away. I needed to know what he saw, but I knew they'd never let me into the manor a second time. The trial was coming up, and I would need to make a choice. Talk to Aster or Von Sanctus. He had read his testimony, even if it contradicted the lack of magical traces. The most important aspect of this case was the mystery of event. I should just focus on Von Sanctus for now. The lieutenant listened to the manor before stopping at a closed door. Hear voices coming from inside it. One of the voices was distinctly Lloyd. Recognized that nasally, high-pitched whine anywhere. Wait here. I need to inform the Duke of your arrival. He entered the room when we waited outside. So do you want to tell me what that was about? What? You were trying to sick me on those two like some kind of dog. Not some goon you can use to threaten people like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just usually way more level-headed than that. Acting differently since we got here. Tyrion, something happened here? Sorry for barking orders at you like that. I just grew up here and I really don't like what's happening. They're so much better now, and I don't want whatever's happening to ruin that for everyone. Okay, I get it. Just don't do that again, okay? If you ever need to talk to someone, just focus on the investigation for now. Okay? Ooh, hello. To enter the nearby room, we came upon Lloyd Von Sanctus speaking with another unfamiliar individual. Ah. I just knew you meeting the Crown Prince was a disaster waiting to happen. What? Hear about what happened. Crown Prince asked to let you in, didn't he? That man was a Crown Prince? Which means that is the one who's engaged to Arya? Curious. I knew I'd recognize that name somewhere. This is what I got for not reading the paper more regularly. Okay, one thing at a time. I have you here. Do you mind if I ask you some questions about Arya? Absolutely not. Get out of my house. Why not indulge him, Lloyd? He seems harmless. Come on, then. Anyways, you're waiting for Violetta to return, aren't you? Ooh, that name sounds familiar. He stayed silent for a while before he let out a heavy sigh. Very well. Arbitration. I'll answer your questions. I'll just show you how little of a case you have. If you can convince your client to accept the futility of the situation. Thank you, Miss, I am Corin Sybil, head of House Sybil and Wyvern Guard's Duchess of Law. Finally, we officially meet. I think this is her third introduction card? But now we're meeting her personally. Oh boy. Ah! What's this? A runestone? It's my attorney's runestone. Ah, I guess they must give the older models to the people of your station. Duke of Commerce, my runestone is always the latest model. Can I see it? No.
Preparing Arcanum.
False. You've detected zero magic. It's a window. You can see the entire city from up there. I'm sure the Duke of Commerce enjoys looking down on the people he's ruling over. Where that? You fucker! Large mirror. I'm sure a nobleman like von Sanctus spends hours looking at himself. I'm standing right here! It's landscape painting. Is that Le Galacronde? Yes, I had a commission last month. View of the Grand Cathedral is quite lovely this time of year. There are 2 cups of tea put out on the table. Fragrance is refreshing. Must be an exotic brand. I'm not going to offer you any if that's what you were expecting. Fine. I'm supposed to be willing to drop the charges you've laid against Dracogen. Ha! Thought you were smarter than that. It's worth a shot. But it's obvious you're not one for competition. Why else would you be trying so hard to squash a small company? Oh, is that what you think? How simple-minded of you. Am I wrong? Von Sanctus Industries is massive in its operations throughout Wyverngard. He's just one merchant in the city. But one merchant is spreading insidious ideas like it's the plague. So, encouraging workers to unionize and protect themselves is insidious. Oh yes, it sounds very flowery and marvelous when he's just... Have you ever stopped to think about what he's doing? Encouraging those at the bottom to stand together and take power away from those above them. What's the difference between that and insurrection? They're advocating for their basic human rights. Don't you know something? That's not entirely unreasonable. How about them actually pleased that fewer employees are getting hurt in this city? Oh, really? You may think I'm heartless, but I'm not a monster. This union simply kept people safe. I've taken no issue with it. It's never going to stop there, though. No, there's a rich dude with his slippery slope argument. Some things never change. Give these people power, they'll just become hungry for more. Take it, till there's nothing left for the rest of us. They'll do what you do. The difference is that they won't care when our society devolves into anarchy. You're awfully quiet. I didn't want to interrupt. You're just as responsible for the commoner's suffering as he is. Tell me, Mr. Cuthbert, do you think artificery plays a vital role in our society? Of course I do. It's the only way for us commoners to use arcane magic. Correct. Existence of the arcane refineries is essential for our societies to function. So, Mr. Cuthbert, would you ever work in one? No, but you wouldn't because you were afforded privileges that many others do not have. No one wants to do that sort of work. Someone has to for society to function. That's what has their role in Wyverngard, and more often than not, people don't receive a role they like. No one decides what kind of circumstances they are born into. The cosmic balance decides that. Cosmic balance? Please don't get us started on that. Cosmic balance is the chaos of the universe. Law of averages made manifest. No one can control the outside forces that determine their lives. Some are born into the aristocracy and some are born into poverty. That's awfully easy to accept when you were born into the former. What is not fair? It's never been fair. So we build systems to keep it from crumbling under its own cruelty. Systems that benefit you. Systems that protect the aristocracy and grind everyone else down until they've outlived their usefulness. There must be stability, even if it causes discomfort. The chaos of the universe may seem cruel, but it's fair. The system wouldn't be this way if it didn't work. Since you two care about the system so much, you should know that someone's abusing it. Is that so? I'm sure you've heard about this mist-weaving phantom. I believe they've been stealing official records from the unions at the Dracogen Trading Company, using those records to craft false reports about hostile tensions between them. That's... Pause for a moment. Is something wrong? I think what he's saying is actually quite plausible. Wait, really? There has been something peculiar about the recent string of robberies. And who they've been targeting. Talking about how they hit the union offices. Do you actually not know about this? I'm sure I'll regret telling you this, but there's something about his targets that hasn't been released to the public. Many of the individuals who were robbed were secretly plotting treason against the kingdom. What? You're only saying that because they were members of unions. I'm saying that because law enforcement found hidden illegal communications, weapons and explosives at the site of most of robberies. Planting shit at the robberies? Oh. Strange. Many times the victims returned home to find their houses ransacked. When the city watch arrived to investigate the crime, they noticed one peculiarity. Victims never called the city watch to report the crime. Someone else did. Despite the clear fact that a crime had occurred, some of the victims resisted attempts to search their home. Police found that quite suspect and found its probable cause. They found evidence of the treason when they searched the victims' homes. It was as if the Phantom was intentionally targeting those who were plotting against the crown. What reason could the thief possibly have to do that? It's clear the thief wants the crown to be aware that insurrection is brewing within Arlax. Those false reports, a far more dire situation is being painted. Who do you think would benefit the most from something like that? One prolific note came to mind. Grand General Steven is involved in this somehow, I'm sure that... Roland, I understand you always cared for him. However, even you must admit he's never been the same since that tragedy with Ophelia. Even so, it's not my place to decide that. Be up to the House of Lords. Really? Even now? You have no evidence. The House won't condemn Lucio based on hearsay. Until then, the Grand General will fulfill his role in our kingdom. But while countless innocent lives have been lost under his watch... Pat. Obsolete? This new Phantom really be an agent of Lucio's Steelwind? Their intention was to reveal insurrectionists. Why would they have bothered robbing the merchants' shipments? Just to create a cover to hide their true intentions? Way, if the Phantom was at the refinery that morning, it's possible Justin spotted them. It remained unseen throughout their string of robberies. Phantom attacked Justin just to keep their identity hidden? Trial was coming up soon, and I still didn't have any definitive evidence to prove that Justin was even attacked. But it couldn't be helped. I'd run out of time. I just need to work with what I had. We'll do this next time. Until then. How you doing, Rika? How you holding up, Rika? You sound... yeah. See you next time.